Are you finding it? Pull up in the Sri Lanka. What? Oh, that
Pull up in the
wait.
Sri
Yeah,
Lanka.
I
So I
said
was
that.
right. I said the full thing. She didn't
Okay.
say the full thing. No, that's a wrong Nikki Green. But anyways, hey guys, welcome to the I Don't Know podcast.
Welcome. Yay.
Woo! And we have a guest. We got our special
China, it's
guest.
me. Yeah.
China, that's my
Yeah.
bestie, y'all. Been my
A
bestie
long
for
time.
a very long time. Since I'm in it. I mean,
We
we had a
did.
rough
We did.
middle
We
school.
did. We definitely had our ups and downs, but it's okay because we up now.
Juniors about to be seniors, about to
That's
graduate
crazy.
next
We was
year.
friends for like middle school through high school. Oh my god, we're gonna be lifelong friends. Oh my god,
I know. I
that's
know.
crazy. And I
Wow.
never would have expected this.
So it's interesting, y'all. I would have never expected it, but we've seen each other grow,
Definitely.
evolve throughout since middle school, and that's just been so amazing to see. Like she's been one of the ones to like push me to even do this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
Like for the longest
Yes.
time. And now I'm
Yes.
doing it with her. Ooh.
Yep.
But yes, so as you can tell, this topic will be how does the Barbie film tell numerous stories? And it can tell many stories. So before I even start to ask her questions or before we even really start to get into it, I just got to do a quick overview. Just a real quick overview. And basically, if you did not watch the Barbie movie, to sum it up, I mean, it's a lot to sum up. I'm just going to try to sum it up as best as I can. But simply, what happened was that it was about Barbie versus Ken. It was about Barbie feeling human, feeling emotions and a mother-daughter type of
Yeah.
relationship as well, depression, anxiety, mental health, patriarchy, matriarchy. I will explain about those later. Um, and just woman
Yeah.
empowerment and self and love. It was about many things. I mean, you could take it
Always. Yeah.
so many ways. How do you take the Barbie film when you first watched it into now? Like, what did you think about
When
it?
I
Like,
first watched it,
you know what
honestly,
I
I feel
mean?
like the message was about like men and women and how like men really tend to like take over things and overpower women as a society. Like even in the real world, like when Ken came to the real world and he seen how things was and then he brought that to the Barbie world. Like I feel like a lot of times men do that and that's how it is as a society. Like it really like cleared my eyes. Like I was like, wow, like, this is how the world really is. Like that's how the world really is.
Literally. Did you
I
like it?
did. I liked the
Did you like
film,
the film?
honestly. I did. It was really good. Like it had a lot of messages to it. It had a lot of deeper meanings to it. I feel like you really had to watch it and like be like very, into it to understand it. Cause it was
Right. And I know y'all probably like, right. Sorry.
what? What?
I'm just excited to talk. But no, I know y'all probably like, why did you choose Barbie as like a topic and
Right.
you know, for your podcast, especially in this order? Well, I did for many reasons and because it resonated with me in deeper meanings that y'all probably can't even imagine. Like me, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a sentimental person. And I was watching TikToks and I would even see how like Alan, a character Alan from Barbie's was treated and how he was perceived and how I was able to relate to him,
Yeah.
which I will dive deeper into later on. But like,
Yeah.
you need to understand the film is for women and males. It's for anybody and everybody because you can learn by it from many ways. So don't underestimate it
Yeah.
at all. So let's start off with our first question. Okay, let's see. I got a lot, y'all. I got a list. I got a list. So, okay. So, how do you think? Because we were all young, but you're a female, and in the Barbie movie, you can see that there were always little kids playing with the
Yeah.
Barbies. You know, always
Yeah.
having these expectations for Barbies. Because y'all need to remember, Barbie, she set a standard, um, a beauty
For little
standard,
girls.
perfect woman, car, wealthy, you know what I mean? Amazing, glamorous outfits, crazy idealistic standard. Where as to now, the Barbie from the film, it's sort of more human like, a
Right.
reinvented Barbie, you know, that's trying to teach you a different message. And it's more to than just looks, it's feelings, it's
It's real world
even
things. Like
woman
it's
empowerment.
real world things
It's
because
where we're
the Barbie
yeah,
back then it was kind of just her living a perfect life with with nothing, no struggles, no worries, and she was just had a perfect image. But now it's like
Perfect.
she's actually
Perfect.
human, and it's like actually more things to that as a woman than just being a perfect girl. Like it's just more to that, you know.
Yup. And with that being said, like I said, going back to the little girl,
I
did you have
had
any
tons of
Barbies?
I had
Be
tons of
real.
Barbies. I had like buckets of Barbies. I used to play with my sister all the time. We had a Barbie house. Like I loved Barbie when I was younger. Barbie, Monster High, all that.
Okay, so
We're gonna get into Barbie though.
right. So no, literally. So how did like being a female at a young age, like around that time, because you were just a child, did you feel as if that you can just move through the world more freely, more open, with like more
Yeah,
ambition? And, like, growing up, has that changed? Like, do you feel like
yeah,
there's more
definitely.
struggles? There's, like, a different and
I
why is
think
that?
growing up is like you start to see the real world too. Like you just start to be more as you get more society as a woman, you just see more things, there's more pressure on you. Society, like even Instagram, social media, things like that. It impacts women a lot. And like we're held to a certain standard that we feel like we have to be a certain way, like we have to be like this, and it puts a lot of pressure on us. Whereas when I was younger, it's like I had all these goals without none of these overthinking, like no stress, no nothing. Like you didn't really have social media as much as we do
Mhm.
now. So it's like you can live freely, you can move, like you can be ambitious, like you can just have all these dreams for yourself and all these goals. But as you get older, it kind of just, you start to overthink and worry and stress and comparison, like comparing yourself to things that you see and wanting to be like this and wanting to be like that. It's like it's a lot of stress on you as you get older. Definitely
Absolutely. And I think most
relate
people
to that.
can
Yeah,
relate to that because as I've gotten older, I've just felt
yeah,
more
more.
stress, more anxiety, and I think that's just something natural that happens as you get
Yeah,
older, like,
but do you
real
think social
stuff.
media
You know what I
like
mean?
really influenced that more for us? Like it really made us. Yeah,
Yes. I think absolutely because you gotta understand, let's say TikTok, for example, I think that has absolutely influenced, and I think in both a negative way and a positive way. Social media, I feel like it has allowed us to actually see all
it's like good and
sides of the
bad to it.
world.
It's
I'm
good
talking
and
about the
bad.
good
Yeah.
and the bad, the the love, mental health, parenting. We get to see how others live and
Right.
learn from their experiences. So it's a great place, but
It
it's
can be
also a place
toxic.
where it can be a lot of it can be toxic. It
Very.
can be negative.
Yeah.
It can be degrading. Like, absolutely. And, with that even with that being said, another question because I feel like this is a common one. I mean, and this is coming from based off of experience, but do you feel as if, you were only looked at as for, like, sexual attraction, sexual pleasure by boys? And how did you experience like, how did you know what I mean? Like, how did you move
Yes, I
past
think
that?
a lot of times as a girl, it's like when you start to get older, you start to change, your body starts to develop, and as a teenager, it's like you do start to be looked at as a light of like an object or a sexual thing, like a sign of like pleasure. Like you're not really looked at as like deeper meaning, like you're not really looked at as like a human. And I think it's like it's really degrading. It really does put you in a dark place where you start to feel like maybe I'm not worth more. Like maybe this is all I'm worth. And I think I've experienced this, going through high school and growing and changing. I've experienced this throughout my life, like
Right.
high school boys looking at you like an object and treating you like they only want one thing from you. But I think one way to overcome it is just to look at yourself as more because I feel like everybody should know their worth and stay, true to who you are. I think you mentioned that, staying true to who you are. No.
No, for real. And
You
I
didn't do your
don't well, now I
affirmations.
did.
The affirmation, staying true to yourself. Oh
Y'all
my
forgot
gosh. Maybe you can do it now. You can do it now. You can do it now.
You
Okay.
gonna do it now. So I for so I forgot to do affirmation of the day, but thank you, Chaina, for reminding me. Affirmation of the day is
Yeah,
be true to
definitely.
yourself. Stay true to yourself. Stay true to your principles and who you are as a person.
Don't let,
That's it. And
yeah,
I say
because
that
you
for many
don't let
reasons.
social media, don't let the world, don't let society change who you are. Because a lot of times we can lose ourselves through this stuff, even through people, like it's so easy to just be someone that you're not.
Through
Yeah,
relationships
relationships
too.
especially. Yeah,
Through
especially
relationships,
that too.
through family members, through
It's
friends,
like
through
trying to be somebody
criticism.
that you're not.
Stay true to
Yeah,
who you
stick
are.
to who you are. Even if
Yes,
you
be
get the
confident in who you
criticism, they're
are.
gonna love you soon enough because it's like you are who you are, accept it or not. But
And yes, so thank you for mentioning that. And back to
looking, yeah,
the sexual
attraction,
attraction. That is that's like a Barbie like feeling because that's how Barbie felt. That's how Barbies are
they're looked
looked
at as
at,
perfect and
you
just
know?
like an
To
object. Just, yeah,
And objects, exactly. So that was great, and with that being said, now we're gonna shift that towards patriarchy, because I think this is where it really connects too, because patriarchy is basically a system, organization, doesn't matter, ran by men, where men is overpowering women, while matriarchy is the opposite of that, and women had more of the power, more of the say. And in the Barbie movie, both sides, you can see both sides being displayed by the author, the
right.
director, you know what I mean? In Barbie Land, you had the Barbies more empowered, the Barbies in check, while when they went inside the real world, you could see Ken seeing all the
Right.
men, and this is real life
Right.
because
And I
it's still
think
like this.
patriarchy
President,
patriarchy
we've
runs
never
really deep. Like it's something that's been going on through generations. So you gotta understand, like this has been going
through
on
generations.
forever. Like it's just kind of like now women speak up a lot more now about things, and the world is still like that today. But it runs really deep. It runs through
And it's got yeah, and it's I mean, it's gotten better
definitely
over the past few years, but when you think about it,
mhm,
patriarchy is a real thing because you never had a woman's
never.
president. Like, that's one great example. You know what I mean? And it's something that I feel like you guys should learn about. It's something that I've recently learned about, she's learning about, and how to deal with it, how to overcome that, you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. So now we're gonna like this is more emotional for me, and I've been itching to talk about this. And like I said, the character Alan from the Barbie movie, now he was more of a side character, and he's a male, but he's not called a
Yeah.
Ken. You notice that, right? Because all the Kens are named Ken, all the Barbies are
Right.
named Barbie. Hey Barbie, hey Barbie, hey Ken, hey Ken. While it's just Alan, and he says that I'm just
Mhm.
Alan in the film. And after that, I had went to TikTok, I went on social media, and I seen ton of things as to where people are like, "I feel for Alan. I feel for Alan." And let me read you something because this is what somebody said, and not even somebody, but a few people said, and I read the comment section, and there were so many supporters and so many people who could relate to it. I read it, and even I could relate to it. And what it says is and this is a bit
Mhm.
vulnerable for me, but as a gay man who watched the Barbie movie, it truly brought a new level of appreciation for all the Barbies in my life. I was bullied all my life by the Kens. Because of that, I never took comfort around them. But the Barbies always took me in and made me feel comfortable for who I am. They allowed me to be happy in my own skin, even if they were never happy in theirs. My Barbies were always the ones to defend me and were truly my biggest supporters. Another one was watching Barbie as a gay man made me realize Alan was me growing up. Looks like a Ken, but never was really a part of it. Acted like a Barbie, but again was never really a part of it. I'm just on my own side. I always took more comfort being around the Barbie because they made me feel wanted. Ken's bullied me throughout my life because I couldn't be how they wanted me to be. So I will always appreciate the Barbies in my life that took me in. For that, I'm forever grateful to be their island. So, could sound corny, could sound whatever, but to me, that resonated with me for many reasons. And China knows my
Definitely.
situation. She knows because this goes down, like, in middle school, like, you remember I there could be a group of people, and I was always that one person who stuck
Yeah.
out to them and was always name called and criticized, judged everywhere I
Yeah.
went, and I can relate to it because for one, like, people like her made me feel comfortable. Like, I've always been drawn more to the females in my life because they just make me feel more comfortable, less judged.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's something that people haven't really been that some masculine males
They
won't
can't.
understand. You know,
Mhm.
always a why this, but you won't understand it. You know what I mean? And I feel like there are many people out there who are like me, and many people out there who, if you're okay, if you're going through the stage as to where you know who you are, or you're getting a sense of feeling or curiosity, do not run away from it. Do not try to deflect it, neglect it. None of that. At the end of the day, be who you are. Don't apologize for it. Don't feel insecure about it, and take your time. No matter how many questions people are asking you, "Are you this? Are you gay?
Mhm.
Are you that?" Try to make you feel down
Yeah.
about it. Don't, because I went through that for years, years, and now I'm who I am. I don't apologize for it, and
Do you think
everybody
that
knows
going
it.
through that made you like
You know?
the person that you are today though? Like going through what you did, it made you it grew you into the person that you are today. Like it made you confident. Like it made you be able to be who you are. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I absolutely, and honestly, me and China would talk on the phone all the time, and she even said to me herself that, like, everything happens
Yeah.
for a reason, and I think it's really made you who you are, because ever since then, you've gotten all these blessings, all these opportunities, and
Yeah,
absolutely, I definitely would say it made me who I am. It definitely made me more,
definitely.
confident. It made me have more respect for myself, because now anyone who ever tries to disrespect it, you can have your own opinion, but at the end of
It's
the
like
day,
you're
I will
more
always be
comfortable
there
in
for
your own
myself and
skin and
defend
you're not
myself.
apologetic
You know what
about
I
it.
mean?
I think and like
I'm
I
more
watched you
comfortable in
go
my own
through
skin.
that too. And like I feel like I was there and I'm happy I was there to like watch, you become who you are today. And it's like I seen it happening to you. Like I seen it going on and it's like you came like very far from all that stuff. Like you did. Yeah.
Thank you, and thank you, and I can only thank her so much, because she was one of the
Yeah.
first people I told.
Yeah.
She was one of the first people I told,
I feel
y'all,
so
because
special.
I
Like
just
I
felt
felt so special when you
comfortable.
told me that. I was like, wow, like you feel like really safe with me. Like I felt so special to be told that, from you. Especially one of the first. Like I feel like I was like, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what happens when you have good
Yeah.
friends. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you have good friends. And that's just something that I really wanted to talk about, because I know that there are people out there who are experiencing this or is overcoming it. And just know that you can overcome it, and that
And
you got it. And that this is a safe
yeah, and
space
even
for
if you
everybody. Go
do
off,
feel left,
China.
I think like of course it resonates with you more, but like I feel like in general that does happen to a lot of people. Like you don't feel like you belong, like you feel out of place, and you feel like you're not where you're supposed to be
Yes.
as a person. And I think even for
Hmm.
me, like I relate to that too because even for me, like um, sorry, why did he do that? Okay, anyway, sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Even for me as a person, like with my move, it made me.
That was some horror
I
stuff.
know,
So somebody was about to come up and be like, "Oh, I got you."
I
Like,
know,
that's what
like
it was.
what? Because
That's what it was giving.
yeah, sorry, but like even for me as a person, like
But go
this
on.
move,
Go
it
on.
made me feel like how you explain, like feeling like you don't belong. Like where is it for me? Like where do I belong at? Like for me too, like I had to really learn myself and go through a process because I felt so out of place and so out of character. Like with this whole movie situation. So I think a lot of people can relate to it in many different ways. What's your advice for people like that?
In
Like,
many
though,
different
what
ways,
is
and
your
you don't
advice for people who feel left out
for
and like feel like they don't
people.
belong? What would you say?
I would say this. I would say this. It's
Mhm.
interesting, but I would definitely say number 1, time. If you feel out of place, that takes time, because you will eventually meet your people. Sometimes the people who are really meant for you are already in your life, and it could take up to 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, doesn't matter. Like
Right.
me and China, like, we would have never expected to be this close to know your people, but it takes time, and also you have to be willing to be vulnerable to a certain extent to really, you know your place, know who you wanna hang around with, know the environment that you like to be around. You also have to ask yourself those questions. You have to be self-aware enough and have that
Know
relationship with
yourself.
yourself, and
Yeah.
be willing to be open enough. Yes, you have to be willing
Mhm.
to be open enough to
Yeah, you
find
got
that
and you
out.
got. I feel
You
like
know what
yeah,
I mean? I
definitely.
would
I
say
feel like you got to learn yourself, learn what you like, and just be by yourself, learn by yourself. I don't think it's really a bad thing to not fit in or not be like other people. I think it's a good thing to stand out sometimes. Like it's a good thing.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel like that was something that was significant for me, memorable for me. And same exact thing for her in the film. There were many moments that was so memorable. And I just think Alan, his character, was
Yeah.
one of them. And I would say another one was the end of the film where what's her name? Greta? Barbara? I don't know. But when it was like close your hands and
You
fail.
know that other
Like
one?
that
Okay, you know
scene
that other. I
in
should not
Barbie.
say about. You know that other girl? And she got like cast out of Barbie Land because she wasn't like them, and she was different, and like
Oh
her, yeah.
yeah.
hmm
Her.
Yeah, it's just about how people like
Yeah.
society like shuns out people who are not like them, makes them feel like an outcast. Like she was a good character. I really like kind of like liked her a lot. Like I feel like her character meant a lot too, not only Alan. Like, but I feel like Alan
And
But I feel like Alan was
right.
trying to fit in. Like that's why it resonates with you. Like he was trying to,
He was.
feel accepted somewhere, like find out where he belonged. But her, it's like she was just kind of like shunned out for not being like them and not trying to fit in and not trying to be one of them. She was just, she was shunned.
No, and that's true, and that actually, I feel like a lot of people
Mhm.
can relate to that because she was different. She
Mhm.
wasn't like everybody else. She had her own identity, and she was
Yeah.
confident with herself. That's another thing. She was confident, and another thing, although she was different, the Barbies still went to her. She's the one who still helped. So just know that no matter who you are and how different you are, you still matter. You know what I mean? You still have something that's different about you that stands out compared to
Right.
everybody else. You know, if you ever feel different, because there are a lot of people who
Mhm.
feel out of place. A lot of people. I mean, I done been through it. What about you? Like, in middle school, elementary,
I
now in
think
high
I
school,
really
like, do
felt out of
you
place
feel
in
that
high
way?
school. Like I think when I was in middle school, it was like, just I was growing in middle school, and I feel like I was really liking my environment, growing as a person. But I think this experience, like going into high school, definitely made me feel definitely out of place. Like I didn't belong. Like I didn't know my crowd. Like I didn't know who to be around. It was like a new layer of something. I didn't realize I was having all this going on until this happened to me. And I was like, wow, maybe I don't know who I am. Like I don't know myself. I had to learn myself. Like coming here, I had to really learn myself. Like I had to learn who I
Mhm.
am, what I stand for, what I like, what my boundaries are. And I let people disrespect my boundaries so much time. I had to go through so many things here, all because like I didn't really know who I was. And I feel like when I first came, instead of like realizing who I was and like being who I am, I tried to like figure it out through people. Like I tried to be, somebody else to people, so I can be like, oh, maybe, I feel like a sense of belonging. I think that's what it really was. And it got me in a lot of situations that, it helped me grow at the end of the day. Like these situations, like I don't regret going through anything that I did go through because now I know to
Mhm.
experience things. But yeah, definitely felt like that in high school. But yours
And
happened in
that's
middle
real, and
school.
let me
Like
tell you
I feel like
something.
yours happened in middle
I
school, and then in
know.
high school was like,
And, yeah, I feel like it all changed once I
yeah.
kinda came out, because I feel like once I came out, I was more
It
accepting of
all starts with
myself.
you for real.
You know what I
It
mean?
all starts with you. Yeah, it
It starts
do.
with you. You have to be willing to
Mhm.
put in the work. And let me tell you something, and it's okay to still be trying to find who you are. I know a lot of people in my life who is sort of a character, have characters, will change for certain people, but,
Yeah,
that's okay. That's okay because at the end of the day, as long as you take your time to actually be who you are, it could take up to 5, 10 years, it don't matter. Just put in the work and try, and be yourself. I think that's if there's anything,
yeah,
be yourself. I stand on that.
yeah.
You know I stand. I'm
You
very
are. You
passionate about
are.
being yourself and not apologizing for it because I hate when people do that. Absolutely. Absolutely. And to go more into the Barbie film, I do have a bit more questions. Let's find a good one. Okay, as a female, how do you think males can learn from the Barbie film? Like, even masculine males, like the males that you know in your school, grown adults, how do you think that they can learn something from this film?
The biggest thing I think they can learn is like learning to not make everything like about them and not make, what you said, like a patriarchy. Like learn to allow
Mhm.
women to be creative, learn to allow women to have their own, you know, space and things going on. Yeah,
Sense of
like
identity.
I feel like, you know, learn to let women be them and be feminine and be who they are as a person. Like I feel like a lot of males, like even at school and stuff like that, it's like they put us in a box. Like they put a lot of like they put us like in one box and like look at us as a certain way and you gotta be like this and you gotta look like this or you're like, you know what I mean? Like they just kind of, I feel like men need to, grow better at that. Like do better at that. Yeah, like
I understand that.
stop making women
Absolutely.
feel, you know, and I feel like now it's even worse. Well, maybe I don't know. Like now, how men treat women is worse. I think so. You
Really?
know,
You think so?
I feel like
Why is
because
that?
we normalize like cheating, we normalize like emotion, abuse, all
Okay,
that other
yeah,
things. Like
you right.
it's yeah,
Nah, yeah, she right
it's
about
just so
that.
normal. And I think
No, absolutely.
now, I feel like now that women, we kind of like are realizing this stuff, so it's harder for us to be played with. I think it could be that
But
too.
I feel like
Like women are waking up more.
no,
Before we could go for that.
absolutely that. Yeah, but I would say I feel like there's also a side though, because you got the side where men act that way, and then you got
Yeah,
other men
I
who
can agree.
don't.
Maybe I shouldn't group
And
all of
I'm
them
a boy,
together
and
because
I
there are women out there. Yeah,
yeah, like
because
don't
like
group them all together because I'm
yeah,
not like that. I tell
hmm
you that much.
so there are good men out
But
there that do do right and stuff.
and I would also say to me how boys, males can learn from this is you don't always have to be so tough skinned. You don't always
Oh, that's
have
a
to
good one. Like
put on
learn,
that
yeah,
I'm boss.
yeah, like
Like you
right,
know what I mean?
like
Like
they don't have
you
room to
can be
be
tough.
emotional. Like they don't have room to actually feel their feelings.
And but the problem is that most males feel like it's too femme to be in touch
Mm,
with their emotions,
it's
which is
not.
not true. You think about it. When a man is emotionally communicating, when they're good at that stuff, even let's say I know this might be a bit off the topic, but even have a really, really good hygiene. Oh, I want to do my
Yeah,
nails a
you
little. I don't
should.
want to
Like
paint
you
them, but I
I
want to
mean
get them
that's
all.
I feel like they should. Like I feel like yeah, they
They're
are.
judged. It's considered
Mm,
too femme. You know what I mean? And I just feel as if, and this goes to anybody, you can be self-disciplined, you can be tough while still being gentle.
definitely.
You know what I mean? While still being vulnerable. Like that's okay. That's okay because the norm is the females are always that way, but the males aren't. Like it's okay to be it's okay. Because I'm not type like I can be tough and I can be fierce while still being gentle and in touching and vulnerable with my emotions. And you don't have to just be gay
Mhm.
as a male to do that. Because some people think that. Some people think straight male, I'm held to this standard, especially the old school way. And that's something that I want to talk about. That's because you know how I talked about parenting in the
Yeah.
Barbie film. So in the film, we see how the world is constantly shifting and evolving and growing. So how is that relatable to the real world? Like you got the old school, and I'm even talking about the old school parents, the old school generation, where it wasn't no
Mhm.
technology. How is the world changing? How is it evolving? And is it doing
I
a good
think
job at doing that?
I can see two ways. I can see,
And
yeah,
that's a
that is
good
a good
question.
question. I can see two ways. I can see like how they would say it is evolving in different ways because I feel like a lot of us are waking up and breaking generational curses, breaking a lot of things that was deemed normal back then, but now it's like us as a generation, we're waking up and we're like, this is not normal, this is not okay, things like that. But I can also see a negative side to things, whereas I would really say social media a lot. But I think it's good at the same time. But like it has some cons. What do you think?
I would say the world. It's definitely
Oh,
changing and evolving almost every year. I'm even thinking
mhm.
music genre too. You got the old school music compared to this new school music, even gender. People weren't, "Oh, I'm this, I'm transgender." That wasn't that
That
common back
wasn't a
then.
thing
Now it's
before.
starting to become that. Now people yeah, now people are starting to be let's say this, the world is sort of evolving because I feel like people are low-key being more accepting to that type of stuff and sexuality. You know? Like, people are really banding together, marching together, and just being in one, and I think the world is evolving in that aspect. I think with parenting I think our generation, um the old school generation, like their parenting, I think a lot of us new gen are like learning from that and being like, "Oh, we
Yeah.
gotta fix that. We
Mhm.
gotta correct that." Because with the old school way, "Oh, I'm disciplined. I'm this. It's my way or no way." And this is for a lot of teenagers. I mean, I'm sure you even gotta go through this. While us, we're being like, "No, that's not okay. That's
Yeah.
not a good
Yeah, and I feel like in a
behavior
way
or
we're
trait
like
that you should be
teaching,
trying
we're
to."
like kind of growing with our parents and teaching them like speaking out for ourselves and like telling them like this is not okay and explaining why and things like that. Because I mean that's what they were taught.
And how to
That because that's how they were
communicate.
taught. Like, that's what they know. That's
That's how
what
they
they
were
know. But
taught.
I think it's like we're kind of helping our parents learn through us. Like this is not okay. And I think even for my mom, like I helped her to realize how to help me with like her generational things, like and how to change this and this is not okay. This, like, I even helped her do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and I agree with her completely because I feel like honestly, my grandma, she like 60. But one thing about her, I get most of
Hmm.
my traits from her. And she's gentle, she's soft, but she still got that old school in her. You know what I mean? While you got the other type of old school, like let's say maybe 1980, something like that, where it's like, "Oh, you got the belt?"
Yeah,
Like, the belt? "Oh, you can't
yeah.
communicate?" Like, "Oh, it's just shut up. You're too young. You're too young to understand this. You're too" you know what I mean? You got there's different type of
Hmm.
old schools, and I think the new generation is breaking that, and we're evolving, and I think, honestly, surprisingly, I think this new generation is gonna be sorta good parents. Because when you think about it, most of the old generation, they were parents at a very young
We're
age.
parents at a young age too. I
Very
think
young age.
teenagers are. I think teenagers are getting pregnant a lot now. Like I don't know if that's just me. Like, do you think that's?
I
I
don't know. I haven't been on
I
that
think
side. I
like
don't know. I
I
don't
see
really
it. Like
see
I think
it.
it's a lot of teen pregnancies now. A lot too. But I think every generation is gonna have teen pregnancy. But I mean, at least they're like still taking care of their kids and you know teaching them well. But I do think teen pregnancy is still definitely a thing, especially now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I I also think other ways the world is evolving is, like you said, social media and
Mhm.
technology. Look at what we're on. Look at what
That's
we're
a big
doing.
part.
We're podcasting.
And it opened,
Like,
but social media did
yeah,
open doors to
like
a lot of different things. Like a lot of younger people are being like business people, like entrepreneurs. It's opening the door to so many different careers and different things, and we got so much more going on for us that older generation did not have due to technology, due to things like that.
and to me right. It all depends on how you
Mm-hmm.
use social
Cause you can use
media.
it for the good and you can use it for the bad, and
Absolutely.
I think it really does depend.
But and mind you, guys, this is all coming from the Barbie film, you know what I mean? And, in the Barbie movie, where it was really between Ken and Barbie, I feel like I'm gonna bring patriarchy back up because I forgot to mention this, but can we please talk about I don't know if you know this, but can we please talk about how Ken, the actor Ryan, got nominated for an Oscar while Barbie, who was Margot Robbie, did not?
Wow, wow.
And you see, like, it kind
The
of
point of the
proved
movie, like it's
the
like it,
point
it it's like
of the
the
movie,
movie literally is showing you like okay, this is how men and women get treated, and then in real life you're gonna nominate him.
and not Margaret, the
Um,
main character too, mind you.
it's like
She's why they got all the viewers. Like, think
yeah,
about it.
honestly.
But, but yeah, That Barbie film, it had me thinking, and I've been planning to do this for about months,
Uh,
y'all. And I've been so excited to do this podcast episode, and honestly, we've been doing it for a minute. It's been 36
it
minutes. Like,
has.
that's how much we've been talking.
Oh
Yeah, it's
my
been 36
gosh, I
minutes.
didn't even realize that. Like whenever I talk to you, it's like I just be like talking, and it's like the time be going back.
That's the thing,
Yeah,
but that's what I love about talking to China, y'all, because listen up,
yeah.
we're very similar. I feel like the one thing about us is that we're both very in
Hmm.
touch with our emotions. So when we
Yeah,
talk, it's like we accept it so
yeah,
much, and we balance
yeah.
each other's
Definitely,
energy. That's
definitely,
another thing.
definitely. I think that's how we're able to be like friends for this long too. It's like we're like
And we keep it real
definitely.
with each other.
Oh, for you, oh my god, you be calling me out so bad. Like I did. Do I do the same for you? Do you feel like I call you out on your stuff a lot?
I mean, yeah, because when I
Oh
was with,
yeah, I was on point. Yeah,
who,
I
like, you
was.
was on me.
Yeah, I
You
was. Cause you know better than this.
she wasn't playing. I know she
You don't
wasn't
play with
playing,
me
but
either.
no,
Like
we keep it real with each other.
no, no, you don't.
Oh, I
Like you
don't.
don't. Yeah, definitely don't.
I
Mm.
don't hold back. I don't but my tongue. I'll be like, "You
Yeah,
doing
but
too much.
that's
You
what I
doing
like
this."
about you because you're not gonna validate if I'm doing something wrong. Like you're gonna call me out on my stuff, and it's like okay, like you tell me this. Like it's like that's what a real friend do. I don't think I want to be told everything. Like you're just telling me things that I want to hear. Like no, tell me what's the real. Tell me what's the real.
Clock it.
Yeah,
Clock that T. Clock that T. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But literally, I love how did you feel about this? How did you feel about your
I like it.
first
Honestly, I was still.
podcast?
I'm gonna be real. I was still a little
Mhm.
nervous. Like I was still a little nervous. I think I did better. I did better.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I
did too.
enjoyed
But
this.
yeah,
Okay, how did y'all enjoy this?
who? The audience?
Right. Yeah, the audience.
Let us know. Let us
With the
know.
look on
Give us
your
feedback
face.
too. Like, let us know what we could do.
What did you what let us know? Oh, I thought you were singing "Let It Snow, Let It Snow."
Mm. Let us know. Let
Let
us
us know, let us
know. Let us know. If you want to hear
Okay,
more.
and in honor for the Barbie thing, you do know Barbie World by Nicki and Ice Spice?
I used to play it all the time, but honestly, like my brain be so fogged up. Do you want
That's a
to?
no.
Do you? No,
That's a
I
no, that's a no.
know, honey. Hold on.
Well, hold on. Okay, well, I can do super bass. This one is for
Top
the boys
down
with the
AC
boomers,
with the
the
cooling
top
system. When
down
I cook
AC with
them.
the cool system.
Hold on.
We raising up. Got stacks on that thing, baby.
Do you know the song? Do you know
I
the
just start
song?
pulling the kid. Heavy Stacy Nikki.
All these
All
Barbies
these
bad.
Barbies preach.
Girl.
All these Barbies mad. Ew, girl. I ain't being fed.
Okay.
Right. When I get big. That's
That
enough.
is
That's
enough.
enough.
It
Y'all,
is
it's
late.
late. And we got the water. Let's cheers
Wait,
before
where's
we
my
go. You got
I have a water bottle.
Oh, pink.
I
Okay.
love pink.
Ready? Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, we really finna start our water diet. Like we really finna start our water diet.
It's the slurping
It
for
does
me.
that every time I drink from it because I don't have a straw. Like it's just I have to like yeah.
But
It does that every time. Thank y'all for watching though.
okay,
And
well,
honestly, wait, was that all the questions? I thought it was more
yeah,
than
pretty
that.
much.
I did.
No, but you see, because I made it natural.
Mm,
You said make it
yeah,
natural. I
yeah,
made it
definitely. I
natural
can
and I
tell.
made it
I can tell
smooth.
definitely. Like when you're talking to me now, it's like I can understand your questions. I can articulate my words better. Yeah, but
Right. And yeah, so bye, Barbie.
bye,
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 Barbie.
Ken. Wait, do you want to be Ken?
Bye. Ken, just say Ken. Bye. Bye, guys. Adios. Bye.